Bandwidth for all shows on the Aussie Tech Heads network is supplied by Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting. For a fast, affordable and reliable Australian server with fantastic support, contact Aussie Tech Heads Web Hosting at aussietechheads.com.au. Aussie Tech Heads, Australia's best hosting service.
Welcome to another episode of Aussie Tech Heads. This week I'm Glenn Goodman and we're joined with a beauty of hosts, a veritable beauty of hosts this week. And if you're lucky enough to be watching the video, you will be in for a treat, I tell you. I think two of them have got facial hair and two of us haven't. There you go. All right, so this is Aussie Tech Head. So welcome. We've got a lot of stories for you tonight, and this week's show is brought to you by athwebhosting.com.au. Go and have a look at them. Some email. You want to host some emails in the cloud there. You want to do a blog. You want to do a little business webpage. Go your hardest. Over 200 plus installable scripts at one single click or less. You just have to talk to it sometimes. But yeah, so probably a couple of clicks you can install WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, whatever you like. So it's pretty good. E-commerce, Aussie card or whatever it is, it's great. Over 200 of those. Get you started, so get involved. All right, let's go across to Jason. Hi, Jace. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Glenn?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. What have you been up to this week? Something interesting I heard.
Oh, yeah, I went to see the Doctor Who Symphony Spectacular, and it was spectacular, worth every cent. And also the extra money that I paid to get a Tom Baker scarf. And I got my daughter a Matt Smith fez and bow tie. She thought it was fantastic.
Nice. And this was in Melbourne. I saw you. I was tracking you as on the Facebook there. You were flying to Melbourne.
Yeah, flew down on Friday, and we went there Saturday and watched the show. And they have the characters, the Cybermen and the Daleks and the Silence and everything come into the audience and walk around, and people get photos with them. And they had the Weeping Angels, which my daughter really doesn't like.
All right. And
but some of them came out in the auditorium foyer, and you got to stand next to them and get your photo taken. And there's no way my daughter would go anywhere near the Weeping Angels.
Yeah, right. Wow, had a profound
I stood
effect.
next to her and was doing this the same as her, and then the Weeping Angel turns around and starts reaching out to grab me like this, and my daughter's like, "Dad, look out!"
And could you touch most of the props, like the Cybermen and Daleks and TARDISes and all that sort of stuff?
Oh, the people, yeah. When they were in the foyer, they didn't mind. You get it as close you wanted to get a photo, and they walk around the hall between the seats in the audience, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. And can I just ask you how much the Tom Baker scarf was, as a matter of interest?
I think it was $60.
Oh, yeah, that's probably fair enough. Is it as long as the?
Oh, yeah, it's way longer.
Yeah, right. So if you do move to Melbourne, you might get a use for it. I could just see.
Yep.
but you know,
that's why I got it, seriously.
Yeah,
I already got my daughter a creeper scarf from Minecraft a while ago, so I thought I'd better get myself something for when I moved in.
Well, so you wrap that around. You wrap that around your neck, and you'll be a contradiction because you look like the master.
Yeah, that's right. Taking over the Doctor's body.
That's
And I
right.
have to say, I really enjoyed Aussie Tech Heads the musical last week. That was fantastic.
Oh yes. I must look. Apologies for that.
Got him.
Yes. Normally every week I check the stream to make sure that everything's done right. And this week I thought, I was up late doing it, so I let it go. And then this is on the podcast, and so I had accidentally linked to some pilot music show that I'd done. So if you look, we had comments, we had emails, people loved it. So I don't know.
Well, there you go. You got to start it up again, man.
Yeah, if anyone wants to, if anyone heard it, or if anyone wants to listen to it, let me know. And if anyone wants to take it on on a hosting sort of a thing, let me know. It's all indie music. That's what it's all about. So the guys loved it. It's beautiful. But let's get around and have a chat to Shane. He's here again this week. Hi, Shane.
If we must.
Yeah. We could go all night, Jace, I know, but if we must move on, we will. Hi, Shane, how you doing?
I'm good, Glenn. How are we?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. What have you been up to this week? You look cold
Oh, what?
tonight.
No. What it was, I've got like a Disneyland shirt underneath, and it's like half of it's yellow and orange, and the other half is blue, but it's like blue and light blue.
Right.
And there must be a bit of green in there. So when I actually sat in front of my green screen tonight, kind of half of me went missing.
Oh, we thought you were actually there.
So I had to think quick and just grab a jacket.
Right, I see. All right, well that's good. You're looking the part. And Will's back. Hi, Will.
I am. How are we doing?
You're
Will
back.
I am?
You're back from the dark depths of driver obscurity.
High quality Microsoft driver strikes again.
Oh, so you can't use Microsoft drivers for your cards. You've got to use the proper one, see? That's what
No, but that was the problem. The proper ones updated the proper way. Then Microsoft updated the drivers that weren't even active with their own drivers and made them active.
Right. Yeah, I get that. That happens.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that happens
So anyway,
sometimes.
needless to say, after 2 weeks of problem solving, turned out to be a dodgy video driver.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's no good. So what have you been up to? Nothing too much?
Oh, nothing exciting. Usual work and then work with a bit more work thrown in.
All right, good stuff. All right, now we're going to go back to Shane. He's got his chronology of tech. What's happened this week over the history of the Earth in technology? Shane, where do you want to take us?
All right, so we'll start Tom Merritt's chronology of tech off on February 3rd, 2011, so fairly recent. The Number Resource Organization announced that the free pool of available IP4 addresses was fully depleted. The IANA allocated the last of the blocks equally between the 5 regional internet registries.
Well, we haven't really. I know IPv6 is doing the rounds, but it's not really prevalent, is it? I think it's. If you're not going to set your computer up for it as yet. I don't think anyone here has. Has anyone?
No,
it's still got.
You
heaps to go,
can, but the problem is most residential grade equipment, routers, whatever, aren't designed to do it. So, you can do it, but it's basically designed for. The idea is the ISPs and the big commercial trunk lines that come into businesses, they get set up with the IP6, which releases some of the IPv4 to back into the wild, I guess.
Yeah, right.
You could say.
Right. Shane, next one, please.
Where we go? February 4, 1998, Noel Godin, a Belgian who made a practice of pieing rich and famous people, stuck a pie against the face of Bill Gates. Gates did not press charges.
He licked his face. But they're throwing pies. People like throwing stuff, don't they? They throw shoes at the PM. They throwing pies at Gatesy and
he threw a cream pie at Gates and he couldn't press charges because he was too busy having a diabetic fit.
Throwing sandwiches at PMs too, don't forget.
That's
sandwiches.
Salami sandwiches. That's right.
I still reckon the best one I ever saw was that guy who threw a shoe at the president and
he caught it.
The aim absolutely spot on from 3/4 of the way across the auditorium. It was a fantastic shot.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the go, isn't it? And another one was not an actual throwing, but a dumping of manure outside.
That was like France or somewhere, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No, they did in the US too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, just a truckload of manure just dumped on the PM or whoever's doorstep. So, oh, what a smelly job. I think that guy, he got caught, obviously, and I think he was made to actually go and clean it up. I think that was his punishment. He had to go and clean it.
I think he got his message through.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
The crap on the outside matched the crap on the inside.
Yeah, probably. And I've got a political story too, first up, so after these. So, that'll be interesting. A pretty funny one too. Shane, next one, please.
February 4 again, 2004, Mark Zuckerberg and a few other guys at Harvard launched the Facebook. So Harvard students can look up and hook up with each other. They would eventually expand the service across the world and drop the.
Oh, it was the Facebook,
Yeah.
all right.
The Facebook.
Yeah, was originally, yeah.
I think
Well, it was originally the Google too, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, right. The Microsoft. I think we've got a Facebook story as well later on. Geez, we've got a lot of stories tonight. And Shane, is this 2 more? Oh, 3 more?
Yep.
Yeah.
A couple more. I'll just spin through them.
Yep.
February 5, 1999, the first Victoria's Secret online fashion show became the first major webcast,
Ooh la la.
attracting, and which where the IT connection kind of comes in, attracting an estimated 1.5 million viewers worldwide, proving even back then the internet was for shopping.
Yes, 1999. There you go. That's a long time ago. And 1.5 million viewers. Geez, you'd have to have a good internet back then, wouldn't you? 99.
Yeah, it's true.
I think I was on dial-up back then.
No, I was on cable in Melbourne. It wasn't fast. It was like 1 meg down and half a meg up, actually very similar to what most people have now. But, yeah, there was cable around then.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yes.
With your,
It's probably with that wonderful reel player we all used to
yeah,
adore.
that's it.
That's it.
And everything was compressed to QuickTime.
Yeah, and with the AOL browser.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Winamp, you know, the llama never lies. Or whatever it is.
yeah.
That's the one.
And G Nutella goodness. All right. Oh, now we're.
Oh, wow,
now
really?
We're talking. Yeah,
Netscape Navigator Gold for the win.
that wins. All right,
Not a floppy.
next one, please, Shane.
February 8, 1996, John Perry Barlow posted a declaration of the independence of cyberspace written in Davos, Switzerland.
I thought
He foresaw a civilization of the mind in cyberspace. May it be more humane and fair than the world your governments have made before.
every time I see Davos, I think of Davros. So
Davros. Yeah.
So read that story as John Perry Barlow posted a Declaration of Independence of Cyberspace written by Davros.
Wouldn't be much different, though, would it?
Oh, probably not.
Exterminate.
Probably not. We will survive. And,
You will make a good Dalek.
and the last one, Shane, please.
Another Doctor Who reference that I was too short for.
Stand on a chair. Go and buy a chair.
February
next
9,
week.
February 9, 1969, the Boeing 747 Jumbo took flight for the first time. It was the first wide-body plane ever produced, which I'm a little bit dubious about because there's been other models before that were also called wide-body. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Oh, okay. The 747 Jumbo Jet. Well, there you go. All right. That is very good. Thanks for doing those, Shane.
no worries. Thank you, Tom.
See you next week.
Yeah.
That was a great show, wasn't it? You like to be concise.
That's right. Nice and concise. All right. We're just going to stop him there. We're going to break it there. Let me cross out my first 10 minutes. There we go.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Now,
Mm.
as promised, I've got a somewhat of a political story first up. This is quite amusing. I don't know if any of you guys, you probably have seen it now because you probably read the show notes, or if you saw it just as you were twiddling around the internet this week. But there's a Chrome extension that's out that replaces Tony Abbott photos with cats. Now, the extension's called Stop Tony Meow. And it's developed by a handful of Aussies in Sydney. The Stop Tony Meow does exactly what it says it does. And what it does is every time there's a photo of Tony Abbott on the internet, it will replace it with a picture of a cat. A nice
so-
little
I still
pussy
reckon
cat.
it should have been called Tabby Abbott.
Best app ever.
It's only is he everywhere? I don't really see too much of him all on the internet. He must obviously.
I don't go out of my way to search for it. Like, it's not something, it's not like political porn or something. Although now it could be an interesting game, find the compromising cat positions or something.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's only on Chrome at the moment, but apparently Safari is on the way. So all those Apple dudes, your dreams will be answered fairly soon. But look, I know I've seen him on Channel 10 doing a few of those Olympic ads and stuff like that. But I don't think is he overpowering? I don't know. But it's a funny story. They've got sense of humour, some people, haven't they? Yeah, it's good. All right, let's see, Jace. What have you got a story for us, please?
Yeah, Australian Bitcoin ATMs is a company that does exactly what you think it does, roll out Bitcoin ATMs around this great country of ours. Now the company has announced it will soon open 100 Bitcoin ATMs around the country so you can convert your digital currency to physical dollars in the street.
Wow.
The ATMs will facilitate the conversion of Bitcoin to physical currency and vice versa. The head of the company tells us that the customers will tell the ATM how much Bitcoin they want to sell before going out in the marketplace to conduct said trade and convert it into physical currency on the spot. In the same way, the ATM will also allow you to deposit cash to purchase more Bitcoins. The deregulated cryptocurrency is still fairly volatile, but its value appears to have leveled out in recent weeks. One Bitcoin will cost you around $800 to $1,100 at the time of this publication. So
Is this going to be successful?
Interesting.
It sounds a bit
Yeah.
far. What, you think it is?
it's gaining traction. It's gaining traction everywhere. Everyone's accepting it now for donations to websites.
The thing is, it's a non-centralized, non-privately owned form of currency. There aren't any of those anymore in the world. So it's a lot of places are facing economic recession. Australia's not far behind. We're living in a bubble. It's going to explode soon. This is going to come undone. Things like Bitcoin are going to be the only. They're going to become the de facto currency because they're not reliant on governments to do the right thing. They're not reliant on countries to do the right thing. If you want something and somebody's got it, you're going to go after it. So it's a self-backing currency.
And the government's going to hate it because they don't know how to tax it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, how long has it been around now? I remember being 5 or 6 years ago. It'd have to be at least
2009, I think it first came out.
2009. So what's that? 5 years? Yeah.
Yep,
It's I mean, I've lost my wallet, my Bitcoin wallet, back about a year ago. I lost it, and I know I had 4 computers at home here, or 2 at home and 2 at work, just mining Bitcoins. I think I had 5 Bitcoins at the time.
Wow.
And then I lost my wallet. So
that's about what 5/8 of 40, $4,000.
Yep.
Now, yeah. Back then though, it was only probably, I don't know, $100 maybe.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, why
I
did
have a question about this Bitcoin thing.
Yes.
Yep.
Say it does gain traction and take off, and it becomes the universal currency. How would that? And this might be a question more for Eric, but how would that affect countries' economies? Because if your dollar is low, your economy does a certain thing, and if your dollar is high, your economy does something else. If we've all got the same currency and it's all valued at the same amount, what does that mean?
Well, it's going to be
when you want to turn it into physical currency. That's when you're going to have the conversion.
Yeah. And I mean, at the moment, everything we do is based on the US dollar, regardless of what country it comes from or it's going to. It's all converted to US dollars anyway. So US dollars is effectively the universal currency at the moment. So it's no different. The only difference is it's going to be much more consistent. And there'll be much less conversion going on. Like, they tried it with euro. They tried to make a centralized currency with euros. Unfortunately, all the governments got involved and killed it. But the idea behind Bitcoin isn't so much that I'm going to take $100 out of my Bitcoin account and convert it to cash. The idea is that you're going to have $100 in Bitcoin. You're going to find somewhere where you can spend that Bitcoin. And there are places now that actually take Bitcoin. I know that there's a restaurant down the road from me that actually accepts Bitcoin. Oh. And there's a takeaway down the road from me that accepts Bitcoin. So you can actually literally walk in there, put your public key in, and do a transaction without ever actually converting it to physical currency.
Yeah, I might have to start getting into this, This Bitcoin?
It's like the barter card. I don't know. Well, you probably remember, Glenn. You were in that style industry where the barter card system, I mean, it was much bigger in the 80s and early 90s, but same sort of deal. It was a personal currency. You could choose to provide a service, or you could choose to provide labor or a product. You know what I mean? Like, you could split it up. You could pay half in cash. You could pay half with, I'm going to give you $200 worth of labor, or I'm going to give you 3 chickens and you owe me 2 hours work.
Yeah.
It's a very similar principle, but it's more trackable, I guess.
I think where the barter card fell down for me is, and look, it might have changed since it first came out, but it was hard to find someone that would accept it, and if they did, it was more inflated than normal currency, and plus you had to, I think they sent you statements and everything, so therefore it was managed, so therefore there was operating fees, so therefore you had fees. And
even though they were bartered fees, they were still fees. And what you did have the option. You could say, okay, I'm going to do the job for you. I actually have to outlay cash to buy the products, so I want you to purchase the products at the cash price. The labor I'll trade in barter, which is all fine and dandy. But if they only sell roof tiles, there's only so many roof tiles you want.
Yeah. That's
so.
right.
It was a great concept, but this sort of takes it to the next level because it's a universal thing. Everybody's going to be able to use it for the purpose. I think it's a fantastic idea. Theoretically, it's recession-proof, although I'm sure they'll find a way to change that.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that accept it. You can use it at Etsy, WordPress.com, Pirate Bay, Reddit, Internet Archive, OkCupid, 4chan, Namecheap to buy domains, EasyTV.
Can I just
I know
ask?
Amazon was talking about taking it too.
Can I just ask, Jace, what do you buy at the Pirate Bay? Have you any idea?
I don't know. Maybe they take donations. That's what a lot of them
Donations, and you buy things like VPNs and
okay,
and stuff like that.
So they sell all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh, the enterprising.
Not
aren't
that I
they?
bought one. Not that I bought one from there last week or anything.
recently. Yeah.
Did you see? I think there was what they were in the Netherlands where they were blocked. The legislation came out. I think we mentioned this, didn't we, last week or something? The legislation in the Netherlands or somewhere they forced the ISPs to block the Pirate Bay, but it was overruled in court because the ACMA or whoever they are, the film people, they couldn't prove that it was actually stopping piracy. So the judge.
Well, yeah, because they don't host anything on their site. You don't go to piratebay.com to search for something. Well, you do, but it's only a search engine. The actual file's not there. It's just it's a distributed file. It just happens to know how to find it.
Yeah,
feel like suing Google for porn being on the internet.
Yeah, well,
People have tried.
They just tell you where to find it. They don't
You mean
host
there's
it.
porn on the internet? When did this happen? The internet is full of porn. Nobody told me this.
Have you seen Avenue Q? I went and saw that in Sydney a couple of years ago. It was fantastic.
what's what is it? Avenue Q.
Avenue Q, yeah, they do a
little show going.
It's a live show up on stage, and they got this guy on there called Trekkie Monster, and he sings this song called "The Internet Is for Porn."
Okay,
It's a hilarious show. It's got somebody who plays Gary Coleman, the short little guy from Different Strokes. What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah.
Yep.
They've got a character in there that's Gary Coleman, and they got a girl monster, Katie Monster, who tries to tell him, the internet's not for that. What about Gary? He got me this nice flowers from there, and Trekkie got me a nice card from there, and somebody got something from eBay and stuff like that. So it's not about that. And he goes, yeah, but what do you think they're doing after they do that?
Yeah, nice. I saw just as something completely different. I saw Spicks and Specs is back on the ABC, but different cast. Yeah, different cast. It's a new show, so that looks pretty good. All right, moving on.
There's a video of it.
Oh, have you got a video?
It's Will. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's Katie Monster up on stage. If you have a look at Will.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
Where's Will? Talk, Will.
I remember actually watching some of these guys on YouTube. I actually completely forgotten what they were called, and I've been trying to find them for a while.
Well, there you go. So
yeah.
what did you
Really
say?
well done.
What did you say that was called? So people can Google that, Jace.
Avenue Q, just the letter Q.
Oh yeah,
and
sweet.
they have their own syndicated actors around the world. So they have Australian actors doing it in Australia, and US actors there, and Pommy actors doing it over there. So you don't have to wait until they do a worldwide tour. They just outsource it to different countries.
Oh yeah, cool.
Well worth watching. Very funny.
All right, we'll just stop again there. Well, I'll just save. I'll do a mid-show save, just to be safe.
No, it'll explode now.
Now we'll come back and we'll throw to Shane. You got your papers ready there, Shane?
You ready, Catch?
Yeah, no worries. We'll do the Allcast story.
Oh, the what? Which one's that?
Allcast.
Allcast.
Yeah, the best Chromecast app is back in action.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was the first one. Yeah. All right.
They said you can't have prawn on the Chromecast either. Oh.
Tron.
Hey?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
No prawn ads.
Shane, you've got another story for us, please.
I do, and I'm a big fan of this particular application. As far as I know, it's only it's I use the Android version. It might be on both, but anyway, the application in question is Allcast, and basically what it is a application that allows you to cast a video that's been played on your phone or Android device to your TV. I use it through both my Apple TV and through my Xbox 360. You can play YouTube videos with it. You can play podcasts through it. You can, even recently it's worked with, it never did in the beginning, but recently it now works with the ABC player.
Right.
And it also works with Google Play Movies,
Now, what do
which
you?
is why I wanted to get in the first place.
Now, what did you say about the Apple TV? It will stream to the Apple TV.
Yeah, basically it picks up the Apple TV and 360 and Roku and a couple of others. Obviously, it all has to be connected on the same network via Wi-Fi. You just start playing whatever. You go into like the YouTube part of it, and before you start playing the video, there's the share option, and on the list of options is now all cast. And when you press that, it'll actually search for the players that are on your network.
Nice.
Finds however many there, and you pick the one that you want and starts playing.
Yeah, nice. Oh, geez. All this is starting to come to the fore, isn't it? All this entertainment and stuff, and getting it all into the TV and all this. Like, yeah, because like I've been loving my, just play movies off me Windows server through my iPhone or iPad, and then through the Apple TV up onto the big screen. I love it. I love it. It's good. It's good. Okay, Will, do you want to have a story? What's been going on in your little world? What do you think?
Just completely random story I just happened to stumble across. I wasn't even. It was from a link. The world's weirdest gadgets. The top 5 weirdest gadgets have been released, at least so far this year. So if I do this right, you should be able to see it. The first one they have there is metal detecting thongs, because it's so hard to walk around with a stick in your hand. So now you can just walk around with nothing in your hand and a pair of headphones.
I love the USB in the sole.
Yeah, it's got that hooks up to the USB headphones so that you can hear what's going on, and
right.
you can sort of imagine it just strolling down the beach. It's like, oh, beep 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 beep, beep. Like every 30 seconds, just stop and just start. They don't have prices on them, but I don't know if I want to know.
I walk on the beach every day for that.
Yeah, it was one way to get exercise, I suppose. The next one that's incredibly useful and we really need keyboard jeans.
Nice.
Because you really need to have Bluetooth keyboard jeans because you can't move 6 inches to your left to type on your real keyboard.
Don't press a T too hard.
I was gonna say, don't play like Hyper Olympics or anything.
Yeah, nothing that involves a lot of spacebar work.
Is that your space bar? Are you happy to see?
So the next one's the LCD
in
beat
certain
buckle.
Circumstances, it comes with its own joystick.
Yeah, if you push the spacebar hard enough, the joystick rises out automatically.
In-game control. And the next one is for the people, just in case your ego's not quite big enough. LCD belt buckle. Basically, it's a high-resolution 3-inch screen and 2 gig built-in memory. It can do everything from scrolling text to displaying movies or pictures or anything you want.
Yeah,
It's got a battery life of something around 12 to 18 hours, depending on what you're doing.
Wow.
So you too can have a giant ego, I guess. Admittedly, that's pretty cool, and I kind of want it.
Yeah, that's not bad, I suppose. What sort of photos would you put on there, though?
Sneak peeks? I don't know. This one here, I can't. I can hardly bring myself to show it. The finger nose stylus.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. How are you
Using
going
your finger on your phone can be so tiresome. Luckily, you can chuck this sucker on your nose and use it to control your phone instead.
So look, audio guys, this is like some dude with I don't know, like a beak.
Go and rent Clockwork Orange. It's that.
Right.
Guy with a beak.
Yeah, it's a beak attached to his face.
They've actually.
Great if it's too cold and you got gloves on. You don't want to be.
The other thing apparently too is it's waterproof. So if you're in the bath, apparently you can use it. And
Dear.
there's.
Oh my god. That
There's
is
just
so
not
wrong.
enough words. I just can't.
Looks. I hope it only fits around your head and nowhere else. Otherwise, that'd look really funny. But,
He goes with the keyboard.
yeah.
Then of course there's this one which I actually do want. The Bluetooth handset glove. I could go for that. I reckon that'd be pretty awesome. The universal gesture. You walk around and you're like universally, hey, how you doing? Mocking on the phone. We can actually do it in real life and not look like an idiot.
Yeah, you could
Wait,
have
hang on a
two
minute.
calls going. Yeah.
Yeah, one on each hand. So
Yeah.
that's pretty neat. And I think there's one more here. Yeah, there's two more here. The video game massage controller, of course. If your missus is bored and says she wants a massage and you want to play Call of Duty or whatever, the shirt is basically a virtual keyboard. So pick a game that's a button-friendly game and go nuts giving a massage while you're playing a game.
Yeah, nice. He hasn't got much furniture, that guy, has he? And he's got an old
No
tube
wonder
TV. What's he doing? Are these a
And
jam?
this, I saved the best to last. This one's my favourite. Personally, probably not something I would wear. However, I can see a perfectly practical. Who am I kidding? I just want a solar bikini.
Oh dear. Oh, they put
Basically,
it on a model. It's not even on a real person.
I know. I couldn't find one on someone actually wearing it. Basically, it's a wearable solar bikini. It's solar panels. It puts out 7.6 volts through the USB port, or up to 7.6 through the USB port, so it can charge mobile phones, charge tablets, whatever else you happen to be carrying with you when you're wearing a solar bikini.
Yeah.
What happens if you've got a weak bladder?
Well, you.
It's just like a rainy day.
I can't imagine it being waterproof, so
It's just like a rainy day. And for the dads out there, it could double as a chastity belt. So it's a dual purpose.
There you go.
All right, thanks, Will.
You have to get the unlock code.
Yeah, you got to download the app and then forward your credit card details.
Yeah, a few bitcoins and
Where you live, how much you make.
that's right. Yes, and
your future plans.
That's exactly right. And it'd probably have enough power to give off a little shock as well.
I highly approve of this. Somebody's got to make this and patent it now.
Mate, you painted it. Go and patent it. All right. That's good. Thanks, Will. They were little gems that you found. They were good. I don't know about that massage shirt, but yeah, or the beak, but yeah.
Oh, for some reason, there's just something about that I wanted. I don't know why. It's
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
You're gonna have the. Oh, see, that's what it's for. It's when you're on the two phones. Then you need the nose so you can use your tablet while you're on two phones with your gloves. That's what it's for.
You'd be like
If you want your friends to talk together, you just get your two hands and turn around like that.
Group, call meeting.
Conference call.
Conference call.
all right, that's good. Now, yes, very good, Will. Thanks very much. Now we're gonna save again there because that's what we do now. We break things up. Oh, our Will has coughs up a
dying.
lung.
Fur ball.
All right, now I'm going to come back. 'cause
Made of real fur.
I might
Maybe you should try shaving them.
That's where do you think I got it from?
There's going to be a lot of editing tonight.
Look, I tell you, the video doesn't get edited, does it, guys? No.
Warts and all.
The audio's
If
all
this
right.
one gets flagged for
He's got
inappropriate
what's
content,
maybe
it's not my fault.
All right, so we're going to come back. Look, we might do the Who Am I and lead into. I've got a few Microsoft stories, so we'll lead into those, and then Jason.
Yeah, I've got a few quick
All right.
stories. So yeah.
Okay, so we'll do this one because it's probably pretty important. So we probably should bring it up towards, halfway through the show. Okay, let's hit this one.
It's only mildly important.
Oh, look, I've got a Who Am I? Remember the old Sail of the Century days? All right, I've got a Who Am I? And wait till I find it. Wait till I find me.
Can I play a vowel, Tony?
No,
Can you
that's
blow a vowel?
That's
What?
the wrong show.
Play.
That was Wheel of Fortune. Who am I?
The price is right.
I am 46 years old. Doesn't that make you cry? Really? Because you're nearly 40. When you're nearly 46 yourself, well, a few years, but you're nearly 46, and you think this guy, he's made it. Look where he is. Look where I am. Don't like that. Anyway, I am 46. I've been married for 22 years, poor bloke, and we have 3 kids. And like anyone else, I'll just buzz in when you know. And like anyone else, a lot of what I do and how I think has been shaped by my family and my overall life experiences. Many who know me say I am also defined by my curiosity and thirst for learning. I buy more books than I can finish. I sign up for more online courses than I can complete.
Tony Abbott.
No, a picture of a cat just came up. Yeah. I fundamentally believe that if you are not learning new things, you stop doing great and useful things. So family, curiosity, and hunger for knowledge all define me. Who am I? And yes,
Thatcher.
Rennie in the lounge. He is correct. It is Microsoft's new CEO, Satya Nadella. There we go. There he is, another baldy. He's in. He's in. Barmer's out. Satya is in. So he's a 22-year company veteran, and he's the next chief executive officer. And on Tuesday, co-founder Bill Gates made a video, and it's in the show notes if you want to see the video. But he made a video welcoming, you know what I mean,
Sure he did.
him. Yes, he made a video, yeah, all that sort of stuff. Nadella, born in India, led the creation of Microsoft's cloud services, is only Microsoft's third CEO in 39 years, taking over from Barmer, who inherited the job from Gates in the year 2000. This move ends a 5-month search process. Yes, it did sort of drag on, but they reckon that they wanted to take it nice and slow, make sure they got the right guy, and because it was all done last August. So, yeah, Barmer said he was stepping down last August. And, yeah, so that's it.
Satya Nadella.
Satya.
Satya Nadella.
Did you have any more to add to that, Jace? Because I know you were picking up.
Yeah,
on
that
this
was basically most of the info. Gates is stepping down from chairman of the board and instead is going to be spending time helping Nadella, especially in technology and product areas. So he's like a technology consultant or technology advisor working full-time several days a week at Microsoft. But he's still got a 4% stake in Microsoft, will remain a powerful director. And apparently Ballmer's probably going to end up being the person with the most shares in Microsoft now.
Yeah, right. And like when you say the most, I think it's weird, Because I think Bill Gates is him and Ballmer. They've got about 4%, which doesn't seem like.
Bill Gates is selling a lot of his off to get money to fund for his new Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So his is going to be reduced a lot.
Yeah, it's funny. When you look at it, you think, look at all the good, if you want, the good that Bill's doing with all his fortune, and if Ballmer's got the same amount. What's he doing with his buying footy teams? And it's just the difference people.
That's about it. Yeah.
Different ideas people have, isn't it? Like he's out living it up and living the dream. But
well, he really didn't want to go. So it'd be interesting to see what he's going to do now that he's not going to be at Microsoft anymore. What's his idea for the future?
Well, I think he owns a couple of sporting teams or something in the US. So
they pretty much manage themselves, I guess.
That's right. But look, sticking with the Microsoft stories, Australia is ditching XP faster than the rest of the world. Now, this is according to a joint called Stat Counter. The OS is still used on 3 out of 10 computers globally, according to Stat Counter. It is now used by less than 10% of desktop users in Australia. So it is the third most popular in the US. This is XP. XP is the third most popular in the US and the UK. And in many other countries, the operating system XP is still the second most popular on Earth. So XP is still going. April's coming up. Windows Phone is up and Apple down in the smartphone sales. Well, what's going on? Windows Phone grew 5.2% of the Australian smartphone sales to December 13, according to new data from the Kantar World Panel Comtech. So this is up 3%. The gain follows a jump for Windows during the preceding 3 months to 9.3%. So slowly but surely, the Windows Phone is getting there, which is I don't mind to see because I'd like it to do well. Meanwhile, it just goes blah blah blah. It's obviously they've increased, so Apple's come down a B's. And all this sort of stuff. Android still holds the lion's share of Australian consumer smartphone market with 57.2%. So that gives you an idea of Windows sitting on around 9.3, Android's up around about 57.2. Now, you might say these surveys, well, get a bit of info about this. Kantar collects the figures by interviewing smartphone owners, asking if they have bought a smartphone in the last 3 months. In Australia, Kantar conducts about 10,000 of these interviews each month. I've never been asked, but I suppose that's how they must do it. Yeah. And I think that's about... Have I finished? You had a Microsoft story too, Jace, I think.
Yeah, Microsoft is investing $15 million in Foursquare as a part of a licensing deal that will incorporate the location-based services data into Microsoft's web and mobile platforms. The 4-year deal, announced Tuesday, makes Microsoft the largest licensee of Foursquare data. In the near future, when you see Microsoft devices powered by Windows and Windows Phone operating systems and products like Bing. Places will be enhanced by Foursquare to provide contextually aware experiences and the best recommendations of any service in the world, Foursquare wrote in a blog post. Exactly how Microsoft plans to use Foursquare's immense amount of data, which includes everything from user location information to personalized recommendations and tips, isn't completely clear. But the New York Times reported that Microsoft will use Foursquare's data to beef up search on its Bing and Windows Phone 8 platforms.
I've sort of gone off the Foursquare a bit. I don't know why. I think if I'm going to say where I am, I generally say it on Facebook these days.
Yeah, it was fun for a little while, and then you will become king of the platform 4 at Central Station, and then somebody else takes it over the next day, and then you take it back, and then it's like, well, that was fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot better in the US, I'd say, because they get a lot of more coupons and things. You know, checking the Starbucks 10 times, they give you a free coffee. There's nothing like that here that I've ever seen. I don't know if you guys have ever come across anything.
Yeah, there's a couple of bits and pieces. I've got a pizza store up here that does it. A couple of bits and pieces, but yeah, it's not the same. Boost Juice does it.
Oh, yeah, right.
Everything up your way, Will, must be cutting edge. You got shops that take Bitcoin. You've got shops that do Foursquare.
This is so technologically backwards, this area.
That's why they're the smart state.
And yet, you walk into places like my local, I mean, admittedly, it's going to sound stereotypical, but the local grocer is owned by Asians. But because of that, he gets a lot of stuff from, you know, China and whatever. And they have things like, you know, readers that let me use my smartphone to pay for stuff. And they have all this stuff that you don't see anywhere else because they're a small shop and they can implement it. So it's actually really neat. I love going down there because every time I go there, there's something else to play with.
Well, look, downtown Ipswich, well, that's the technology, high point of Western Brisbane. Like, well, do you guys believe?
It wouldn't be far off.
Do you guys believe that Will has had 2 internet technologies into his house at once? That's right, 2 technologies, and possibly
both of them wanted to be paid at the same time,
and none of them worked.
No, neither of them worked, but I had to.
He had Optus cable.
And I've got. Did I mention that I've got the national broadband network 3 houses that way?
Every week.
Yeah, you should have been out the front, Will, when they were laying that, and with a carton of beer, saying, "Boys." Just
a little bit further. Keep going. You can do it.
Get out of the pub for a couple of hours. I'll do it myself. I don't care. Just
3 hours. Well, you know what, Will? It's better than being next door. You know, you could have been.
One door next to it. Yes.
Yeah, you would have known someone wasn't looking after you if it had just stopped next door.
Somebody would have been murdered in the night, and suddenly Will's got a new address.
But what would have been worse still is if you were next door and then they tied it up. They had that much cord left over. They tied a big knot in the end of it and threw it over your fence.
That's actually funny. They've got they've actually got the pit open for some reason. The pit's been open for about 2 weeks, and there's massive coils of wire still in there. So they're obviously planning on expanding it.
Yeah, why don't you feed it through to the next pit out the front of your house, and then they might go, oh, did we come this far? All right, we didn't hook this house up. But yeah, I feel your pain, Will. That's no good at all. I feel your pain. I feel it right here, right in the chest. All right, stop there. Save. And so I suppose we'll do your Facebook story, Shane O's.
Yeah, or we could do, following on from the Microsoft stuff, I had a Microsoft one on Windows 8.1, but up to you.
All right, we'll do the Microsoft story, and then we'll do the Facebook one then. Cool.
Which Facebook one you got?
Shane?
Just the one where how many people use it.
Alrighty, because I got a Facebook one too. We can bounce.
Okay. All right. So we'll do the Facebook, and then we'll do the Microsoft, and then we'll do the Facebook. Sounds good. All right.
Beauty nuke.
All right. We just found another little Microsoft story. So Shane, he's going to tell us all about that one. Go, Shane. What? End us off with Microsoft, please.
All right, no worries. It's about Windows 8.1. Apparently, there's an update that Microsoft may be sending out. According to rumors suggest that Microsoft may alter the way the start screen works in 8.1 Update 1. When Windows 8.1 landed last year, it included an option to bypass the Metro interface. Sources familiar with Microsoft plans have told The Verge that Microsoft is planning to enable this setting by default. I wonder if this will be the case with touchscreen devices, and I wonder if these are just questions that I had, whether it'll be the case with touchscreen devices and whether Windows itself is smart enough to know, all right, I'm on a touchscreen device, I'll go into the Metro interface, or I'm on a keyboard device, I'll go into the normal desktop.
I think the touchscreen one's going to be pretty much locked to Metro, and the desktop's going to be the normal desktop one. To go along with that, it was also announced in the news this week that Windows 8.1 Service Pack 1, which Shane was just talking about, has been leaked, and you can go download it now if you know how to use your Google Food to get that. So
yeah, nice. Look, I think if Barmer was still in charge, I would have been hesitant with if 8.11 was going to be locked in tablet mode for tablets and vice versa. But now that we've got someone, hopefully, well, obviously new, and hopefully got a bit more, I don't know, steady the ship a bit more, and goes, what? The tablet mode is going to be locked in desktop? Are you serious? Someone's going to question the stupidness of all this stuff, and hopefully the Surface will go. We'll stick with the Surface 2, Surface Pro 2, or whatever it is. I think hopefully we just need some brains up there at the top. Now I think we're going to finish off. That was it. There's no more Microsoft stories. Thank goodness. Oh, not that I've seen. But anyway, we're going to move on to Facebook. Shane's got a little Facebook story, something nice and happy for us. What's the Facebook story?
Yeah, I think this is just in celebration or recognition of the fact that Facebook turned 10 during the week. Can't remember exactly what day it was, but it was in me history thing for those people keeping score. And it's just a couple of stats. As of the time that this article was written, which was a couple of days ago, the world stats were 201.6 billion friend connections, 1.23 billion monthly active users, 945 million mobile monthly active users, and a staggering 3.4 trillion likes are currently floating around on Facebook. That's worldwide. Australian stats are 12 million users of Facebook, which is pretty good considering there's only, 23 million people in the country. 9 million of those are daily active users, which I'm one. 7.3 million of them are using the mobile app daily, which I also make up as well.
Cool. That's good. Very good.
I think Glenn likes that from what I was watching.
I think the video switcher who sits behind my left shoulder, he liked the
It looked like it.
He liked the stories there. Good. They liked the stats. Yeah, what a great load of stats that was. All right, now look, not that it's very interesting, but I suppose it might be. Look, Katy Perry, first to reach 50 million followers on Twitter. Do we care? Not really. The singer overtook Justin Bieber. Do we care? No.
I care more about Katie than I do about Justin.
Oh, little twerp. Is he still in the US or has he been kicked out yet?
Been arrested.
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, yeah, he's got a petition against him. Ashton Kutcher was the first to get 1 million followers in 2009, with Lady Gaga the first to 10, 20 and 30 million in October 2012. She had a busy month. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. We don't really care, do we? All right. Will, take us to something we do care about, please.
Alrighty, I've got one here that Warlock, Jason will be interested in. And this is the only picture I could find that sort of sums it up, though.
Release all the things!
Pebble, in their infinite wisdom, has released a Android app for the Pebble watch. So basically, you can head down the developer track and make your Android apps for the Pebble.
There's a perfect place
So,
to put that.
they had a app for iOS and Android for SDK 1, but 2.0 has come out now for the SDK. iOS has got a full version of the new app, which looks really, really nice. It's very swish and well polished and lovely user interface on there. And there's a beta out for Android at the moment, which I'm running at the moment, and it's really good. It works really well.
I was going to say, the only complaint I've heard apparently is it's pretty slow. Other than that, it's stable and works fine. Apparently, that's just a bit slow, though.
Yeah, switching between the different screens is a bit slow, but it's still worthwhile, and it looks very well done.
Yeah, no, so they've done well with that. Okay, so we had this thing where we had Plants vs Zombies, and then we had Angry Birds, and all that sort of stuff. Well, now we have Flappy Bird. And that screenshot you see there, that's pretty much the game. What basically happens
That's
is
Flappy.
there's a bird, and the bird flies across, and you have to miss the pipe. And the further you make the bird fly, the more points you get.
Right.
Apparently, it has just reached the 50 million download mark, which is as much as the Gmail app on the Android device has reached.
Oh, jeez.
The game's creator, Dong Nguyen, created the game in just a couple of nights when he got bored, and he earns about $50,000 a day thanks to in-app advertising. So I guess the moral of the story is make something really cheesy, easy peasy, Japanesey, and make a heap of money.
Yeah.
Since you've got that screen up there, if you've got a browser, have a look at squishybird.com. There's a guy who's taken the assets out of Flappy Bird, and he's turned it, instead of operating the bird, you operate the pipes that the bird in the iPhone game has to miss, and you use the pipes to squish the birds as they come flying through.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I guess. Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. Click to start.
Squishy bird. All right. Well, just before you go too far off into your stories there, Will, I think just going back to the Pebble for a minute, I think Shane had a something to add to the Pebble store, up to the Pebble story.
Yes, and it happens to be about the Pebble store.
Oh, surprisingly.
The Pebble App Store is now live, iOS only, and that's something that Warlock just touched on as well. The long-awaited Pebble App Store is now live. The Pebble App Store will allow you to install new apps onto your Pebble smartwatch. It also gives the controller app a fresh new design and throws a whole bunch of new features onto your device thanks to Pebble 2.0. All you need to do is, as an iOS user, is update the Pebble app from the iTunes App Store, and you'll have access to the Pebble App Store and the new Pebble 2.0 update. Android users won't get the update today from the looks of things, but Pebble is promising that it's coming very, very soon, and that was also backed up by what Warlock said.
Right, good stuff. Now, look, I've got a little quick one here, I think, or do I? Just going back to Twitter. I think Jace might have a Twitter story as well, so we might do that after this one. But there's a rare Twitter username has been stolen. Can you believe it? Stolen, a username.
And it's stolen.
Naoki Hiroshima was blown up, apparently. A software developer from California has had the Twitter handle of since 2007, so the @ and N. Okay, so obviously it's rare because it's one letter. So in a blog post, he said he had previously been offered $50,000 to sell it, and people had tried to steal it before. How do they steal it, you might ask? Well, they can try. What happened was, he explained that a hacker gained access to his GoDaddy account, of all things, a domain name registration service. We all know what that is. In a subsequent email exchange, the hacker told Mr. Hiroshima that he had managed to access his GoDaddy account by learning the last four digits of his credit card number. He claimed to have done this by contacting PayPal, where Mr. Hiroshima has an account, and posing as an employee. What a shifty guy this little hacker is. We have PayPal has since come out and said they have carefully reviewed their logs, and there's been one failed attempt made to gain this customer's information. Twitter has not restored Hiroshima's access to the @N account, and there's nothing really there. I don't understand why. If someone took it over, you think that Hiroshima's past and history would all be all over the joint, but it's not. It's just like a pretty new blank profile.
Yeah, and the worst thing about it is when they rang up GoDaddy, they asked for the last four digits of his credit card number. He got some of them. The bad guy got some of them from PayPal, and then just guessed the last two digits until they said, "No, that's not it. No, that's not it. No, yeah, that's it. Obviously, you must be the right person because you managed to guess the last two numbers after several attempts."
Yeah, after my shift is finished. So it seems that the guy.
Is this a fairly recent version of the story?
Oh, have you got a later one?
Well, I heard this a couple of weeks ago, but the end of it I heard was that it all kind of sorted itself out, and GoDaddy realised that it was all social engineering. And
GoDaddy might have, but Twitter haven't released it because they said it wasn't a really bad thing to happen. So they just said, we're going to let the guy keep it.
That's not good.
Oh, really?
The guy who owned it is registered and had to change his username from N to N is stolen. Then they registered N instantly after that, and now they own the letter N for their username on Twitter.
Well, yeah,
It is stolen, still there.
the guy that stole it apparently, just deleted it. So that's a bit crazy. And Jace, did you had a Twitter story?
Yeah, apparently Twitter is too hard to use. Twitter has finally acknowledged what any newcomer could have told the company within 5 minutes of signing up. The messaging service is too hard to use. In reporting the fourth quarter financial results on Wednesday, Twitter executives said the service's challenge design cut the rate of new user growth and even prompted existing users to check their feed of messages less frequently. The unexpected slowdown prompted investors to clip the wings of Twitter's high-flying stock, despite otherwise strong financial results. Shares fell as much as 18% in after-hours trading, wiping approximately $6.7 billion off the company's value as investors digested the company's first financial report since initial public offering on November 7. In a striking mea culpa, Twitter's chief executive, Dick Costolo, told investors, "We simply need to make Twitter a better Twitter." There were a lot of better Twitters, but they got rid of them all by reducing the tokens that people could use in their own apps and buying up good apps and then crapping them up.
That's right. They did that to TweetDeck. Although I still use TweetDeck, it has got back to being a lot better.
You kind of have to, though. There's nothing else that works.
Yeah. So what about all those like Seismic and all that? Are they still carrying it?
Seismic is... I haven't used Seismic for 6 months, 12 months, because it was useless.
Yeah,
it went from being good to being...
Yeah. But like Twitter's not hard to use, is it? You just 140 characters, that's not hard.
Yeah, but if you've never used it before, and if you haven't got someone to explain it to you, you got no idea how to use it.
Confusing.
Whoa.
I don't like the way that if I'm using the actual Twitter website, that it sits there doing nothing, and then there'll be a bar above it that says 173 new tweets, and you click on it, it jumps to the top of the most recent one, then you have to scroll all the way back down to where you last were to catch up to where you were, and then start reading your tweets back up to the top again, whereas all the others just keeps... Yeah, just keep on slotting the new statuses on top and scroll the old ones down. You can follow what's happening, which is why I've got one at work called Janetta, but unfortunately they've just run out of tokens as well, thanks to Twitter, so they've had to stop supporting that. And on the phone and tablet, I use one called Tweedle, which is pretty good.
I just use the on the iOS. I just use the Twitter app. I think does all right for me. That's good. Good enough
I've
for
got
me.
a Twitter story.
Yes, go quick, please.
Yeah, it is a quick one. Twitter just completely changed its layout. Twitter had just flipped the switch on a redesign on the web. Everything is flat. The font has changed. Your profile picture now shows up in the top left-hand corner, and it looks a whole lot cleaner. This redesign was coming, but it should have been rolled out to everyone by now. And it's safe to say that the flat design in tech, from iOS 7 to Windows Phone to now Twitter, is here to stay for a while.
Apparently they've nerfed their password because my password isn't accepted.
Oh, that's no good. You have to try again. We'll do a thing. All right, we'll just stop there. So
this is both.
Yeah, sorry.
You're right.
No, go. Wait, I'll just pause for a second.
Okay. I'll say it kind of reminds me of what MySpace used to look like.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go back to. I think I'm just about out. I've probably got one. Have I got one? Oh, I have one. I've got one more story. I think Jace might have
one.
Shane's got.
I still got a Facebook story that we skipped.
I've got 3 quick ones and 2 that are a little bit more in depth.
All right, we better. We'll round off the Facebook then. We'll do Facebook. And what's Shane's about? What's yours about, Shane?
Mine's
Game of Thrones.
To do with Game of Thrones.
Okay, so I'll do Facebook, Game of Thrones, and look, it's not. I might as well not talk about it because it won't happen. So we'll just go back. We'll start with Facebook, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, when is this going to work? All right, let's go back to Facebook for a second. Who was that, Jace?
Facebook has announced that it was about to release an iPhone app called Paper. The app is now available from Apple's App Store. The app, unlike other Facebook mobile efforts such as Messenger and the failed Snapchat knockoff Poke, isn't a specialized tool or a side project. It's Facebook. Almost all of it anyhow, rethought for a small screen with 2014 aesthetics. By calling it paper and leaving the original Facebook app untouched in the App Store, the company smartly avoids leaving users feeling like a radical, jarring change is being imposed upon them. But it's hard to imagine that Mark Zuckerberg and co didn't see the ideas in this app as a first rough draft of Facebook's future, period. Most of what you can do in the standard Facebook app for iPhone, you can do in Facebook Paper. There are some exceptions. You don't see lists, apps, or events, for instance. Whether you're likely to want to use Paper full-time depends on whether you're a heavy user of any of the missing items. And what's now basically boils down to two things, the interface and the sections of news organized by topic. Now everything's cleaner with a large content panel on the top, smaller horizontally scrolling ones on the bottom, lots of big images, and a profusion of fluid animation effects. Some people have likened it to Flipboard for news.
So this is, this is called Paper, and this is out now?
For the iPhone, yes.
Yep. Oh, I'll have to go and have a look at that later. And Shane, you got some iTunes news, or Game of Thrones news, or something.
I do. I do. The majority of Australia, so basically this is a story about the next season, upcoming season, season 4 for Game of Thrones, for those of us who watch it, which I'm not one of, so I shouldn't really say us. The majority of Australians would either, based on the story and a bit of history, the majority of Australians would have either torrented Game of Thrones or got it from iTunes the next day after HBO have aired it in the US. But the iTunes option is not available for season 4. Foxtel has secured exclusive rights. So basically this means that season 4 will air express from the US on Showcase as of April 7th and only be available legally on Foxtel in Australia. And obviously you can still do it otherwise if you wish to.
I think what would have made that deal a bit sweeter for me if I was in charge, and probably you're going to, after this, you're probably going to say, well, that's why you're not in charge. But I think without having all the information at hand, wouldn't it be better to, just flog it onto Foxtel for, fast track, all this sort of stuff, flog it onto Foxtel. But then as soon as it airs on Foxtel, put it up onto iTunes. Because as soon as it airs, it's going to be on the torrent sites. So why not have it on iTunes anyway? You know what I mean? Well, I thought does that sound like a good idea? It does to me.
Yeah, Australian media is encouraging piracy. Full stop.
Yeah. That's what they do.
Every single thing they're doing. I mean, Channel 9 just lost in the ratings in the last week because they decided to delay Sherlock, which was supposed to have been released, and screwed up the timing of it, the dates and everything, and people didn't watch it because they went to watch other channels.
Well, I mean, that's why I've just recently because I've got the Raspberry Pi running the XBMC Media Center, we were just watching a lot of the stuff off, streaming off whatever sites. But I've recently just forked out to get a VPN with a private DNS. And so I can now be in the States and we can watch stuff directly off Hulu and Netflix and stuff. So we can watch it as it comes out directly from the States.
Yes.
And as you said, Sherlock was a classic example. Everybody in the country wanted to watch this show and they went, oh no, we're not going to put it on for a couple of days.
Yeah, it was released at the start of the year in the UK. We're still waiting.
I've seen it, but it's like, it's definitely worth watching too. But it's
a good show.
I don't understand what they're playing at. Like, look at ABC; they've dropped the amount of streaming shows they were doing because of budget cuts, just because they annoyed the government to the point where the government fought back. And a lot of these what they call catch-ups, what is it, 7 catch-up or 10 catch-up, whatever it is.
Play and all that stuff.
Some of them don't even have the whole show on there. They actually cut some of the show out so they can put ads in. Fine. I don't mind watching ads. It's the free stream. I'm happy to watch ads. But don't cut some of the show out so you can put ads in. There's already spaces for ads. Just use those.
It's not as if it's like they've got time constraints if you're streaming.
No, exactly.
Oh, dear,
That's just ridiculous.
But I think that leads into, maybe it's got something to do with how the record industries in Australia is jumping up and down about the radio stations streaming the songs over the internet. So you got to pay. You got to pay a fee. The radio station.
How dare we have a listener? How dare we have a worldwide listener base instead of just the local radio?
But it's probably not even worldwide. It's only people that who listen to it locally, maybe have moved on or gone overseas that's going to listen to it.
I don't listen to Australian radio anymore. I use streaming services and listen to American radio stations.
Spotify for the win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spotify, or there's a few different ones, and they actually encourage international listeners. Their radio, they have dedicated online radio stations. They don't even have an actual radio station, and they're set up to encourage people to listen to it. They have ads that are applicable worldwide, or at least mostly worldwide. They play songs that are applicable everywhere. They're on the ball. They've got it set up.
I don't
And here in
understand.
Australia, we're stopping people from watching and listening to our stuff.
As far as I can see, this is maybe half of my argument, is that the record industry needs the radio. Like, they both need each other. But the record industry needs radio. They need airplay. They need to get their stuff out into the public domain.
Well, what I don't understand, and a lot of people don't realise this, is that most of the major pop hits and chart-topping songs that you hear on the radio, everybody thinks that the radio station pays those songs. Now, they pay per play, that they do have some sort of agreement, but the management of that particular song actually pays the radio station to get the airplay in the first place. So the radio station's being paid to play a song. Once the song becomes popular, they then increase the pay per play amount,
royalty,
and in the end, basically, half of that money that was paid to the radio station goes back to the artist, but the other, to the management. The artist never sees any, but the radio station still comes out in front anyway.
Yeah. Look, it's a bit crazy. Like, I just don't think. I don't know what's the answer. All the radio stations around here on the Gold Coast have stopped streaming. They've just got little adverts up saying, "Well, we're not allowed to stream this stuff anymore." I can't see, like, there must be somewhere where they can, can't we just move on and do something else? Just stuff the record industry. Move on to some indie songs or something, and stream indie songs when the other songs are playing on the radio. Just do something else.
Triple J, there are still, like, the university radios. They always stream because all their stuff's all royalty free or indie stuff. So they get away with it, and it's getting to the point now where the music industry is trying to show its fangs, but that's about all it's got left. It's got no bite left. It has some fangs, but they're not going to hang around for very long. And
they're going to rot.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But the problem is the people who run the music industry are old school. They ran it 30 years ago, and they're still in the same mindset that they're in charge and they control how, when, where. They don't understand.
But I suppose
Rupert Murdoch and his mob are the same. All the news mobs are the same. The TV guys are the same, and they don't understand that the world has changed around them. They still want to be in control. It's like the old pit bosses of Hollywood, of Las Vegas. You walked into Las Vegas, you walked into a casino, you played by their rules. That doesn't happen anymore. Things have changed.
But maybe it's not not that they want to be in control, but it's just a matter of, it's not a matter of control, but of survival. Because I don't think that
it's got nothing to do with survival. If they wanted to do survival, they'd change.
But
they
to what? To what?
They want to change.
But what model do they change to? The model is
iTunes,
Spotify.
Public access. Look at things like there's a band called OK Go. They were with Sony Records. Sony Records said, "We can't market you. You need to change." They went, "No, you need to market us." Sony said, "No, we can't. We're going to break your contract." They went, "Okay, fine." They then went on to release 4 or 5 of the largest hit songs ever released on YouTube. Through YouTube alone, they've made more money on those 4 songs than most small bands have made in their entire life.
But that's what I mean. Like, is it that's a model, but that doesn't involve the record company. So it's a matter for them of survive. They can't survive.
It doesn't involve the record companies now. But if the record companies get on that bandwagon and go, "Hey, let's start a YouTube channel, let's start a public radio, let's start this, and let's get you out there, and let's make you available to people, and let's start putting ads on our site," and
but I
then they have a case. But at the moment,
like Radiohead and that have released their songs on the internet and said, "Pay what you think it's worth," and some people have paid $1, some people have paid $20 for an album.
Yep.
And people are doing that with books. They're doing it with media. Like, there's a guy who released a book. He released a digital book. He released an audio book. He released a hardcover book, a softcover book, and a special edition book. And a special edition book was a hardcover book, gold leaf, with all these other ones incorporated. and basically the ebook was free. The audio book was like $2. You know, soft cover book was like $5, and this special edition one that had everything was like $900 or $800 because it had everything.
Yeah.
And after people downloaded the audiobook, they went, hey, that was really good. And they ordered this thing, and he expected not to sell any. And he ended up running out and having to get it reprinted and re-released because he couldn't keep up with demand because he released it free.
Yeah. Yeah, look, as long as you can work out a money-making model there somewhere, well, you're going to run with it. But, yeah, look, things are changing. The world's changed. And, yeah, record companies, they're just getting left behind, I think. Like, who needs them? Like, as Will said, YouTube and all this sort of stuff. And even things like this other one that I'm going to talk about in a sec. We better stop there. We're getting a bit... Oh, nice. So we'll go... Yeah, so this one, Forgotify. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one, but it's just been released apparently, so you probably haven't heard of it. And according to data released by Spotify, only 80% of the 20 million songs on its site have been listened to at least once. So the founders of Forgotify said that the 4 million unheard tracks were a musical travesty. I don't know, I've listened to a few. So users of Forgotify have to be logged into Spotify for it to work. Once logged in, listeners are presented with a track that they can listen to and share. If it is not to their taste, then there's the next button and blah, blah, blah. So Forgotify, I'm not sure. So if you listen to that song, like you pull up a song and listen to a song, now that means it's been listened to. So does that mean it's gone for everyone else to see it on Forgotify? I don't know. But you load up your Spotify, you log into Spotify, then you browse to Forgotify. So it obviously just must have a whole hunk of songs. I don't know, 4 million of them. I suppose you can listen to them. Can't you? Whittle that 4 million down. But 80% of the 20 million songs have not been listened to. So go and have a listen to one of those. And do us all a favour. Get rid of the 4 million. Shane, did you have anything else to go? Or you're finished, I think?
No, I'm done.
Yeah, good. Any other comments? No?
Only that because since nobody asked, I'm going to tell you anyway. The thing behind me is Perth Arena, which is where all our concerts and everything happen. And Bruce Springsteen isn't playing there tonight, but he was there last night. Nice. He's going to be there tomorrow night and the night after. The first time ever he's been to Perth. Apparently, he never came here before because he said it was too isolated and too expensive and couldn't really be bothered. But now he's finally got here.
Oh, he needs the money. That's why he's That's why all these old rockers, they're all coming out of the woodwork, aren't they? The dollars, their savings have disappeared. So they're doing everything they can. And Jace, did you have anything else? I don't think so. I think you were just about done as well.
Pretty good, thanks.
Will,
a good long one.
Yeah, Will's always got a couple of quickies. Will?
Yeah, I got a couple of quickies if you want to fill some time. But just quickly, what I was saying about OK Go, just as an example, the song "This Too Shall Pass," which was passed up by Sony Records, saying we can't market it, 45 million downloads. So there you go. Lucky Sony know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So, okay, basically, a couple of quick stories. I've got a few, one involving the Beatles and how Beatles... it's an interesting read, actually. I won't read it now because it's quite long, but if you go to news.com.au and search for how the Beatles rock technology, it talks about the progression and how they actually developed technology to make their shows sound the way that they want them to. So it's actually a real interesting read.
Nice.
A couple of quick stories. One is about a woman who trolled herself... it's on Facebook, of course. But she basically, Michelle Chapman, who's 24 from the UK, claimed to have suffered from torrent of sexual taunts that came from members of her own family. In fact, what she did was set up all her own members of her own family with fake Facebook accounts and proceeded to troll herself. And she's went to claim for suffering and all this sort of stuff, and she ended up having a couple of years in jail for her trouble.
Reminds me of that show. Reminds me of a show on, I think it's MTV, if anyone's got Foxtel or pay TV. Well, you have to have Foxtel now. There's nothing else, is there? I think Star died. Yeah, it's on MTV. I think it's called Catfish. Anyone seen that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's watchable every now and then, but it's about the two guys. They'll hook up with say a chick that has found a lover on the internet, and they've been conversing for 6 months, never met, never saw each other, just pictures and texting and all this sort of stuff, and they put them both together. Well, trying to put them both together because the other person is normally a fictitious person or a girl pretending to be someone else. It's not a bad little show. You can't watch too much of it, but yeah.
No, it's you've seen one episode, you've seen them all.
Pretty much. It's good for a laugh.
There's
I've found
another story.
Interesting story. If I can jump in.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. The Kinect sensor allowing hands-free play on the Xbox is the basis for a security device now being deployed along the demilitarized zone that separates North and South Korea after being adapted by a South Korean programmer. 4 kilometres wide and 248 kilometres long, the DMZ is a depopulated no man's land of heavily fortified fences that bristles with the landmines and listening posts of the two nations that technically remain at war. As a military buffer zone, it's an area of profound Cold War hostility, but its man-made isolation has also created an accidental wildlife park recognized one of the best preserved habitats on Earth. The Kinect-based software developed by Ko Jiao Kwang, founder of president of Sewon Co, has been taken up by the military because of ability to differentiate between human and animal movement. Ko said that his device could detect the sound, movement, and direction of anybody attempting to cross the DMZ and immediately alert South Korean border guards.
Yeah, wow.
How about that?
That's
Some good use for the Kinect there.
Yeah,
And that's actually a very unintentional segue to another story of mine about North Korea. It seems that North Korea have kind of borrowed somebody's interface. They're not saying who, but as we know, North Korea is being such an open and pleasant country, they have to have their own software to keep the intruders out. And basically, it's known as Red Star. It's North Korea's state-sanctioned operating system, and they may have just used a little bit of inspiration from Apple's OS X.
Just a touch.
Basically, from the dock to the grey windows to the toolbar, and pretty much every part of the operating system has been copied, including most of the help files, text files, and drivers. But other than that, it's completely independently developed by North Korea University of Science and Technology. So, yeah.
And runs on Linux.
Yeah. Nice. Linux. Woo. Yeah. All right. Any more, Will, or you've finished?
Yep. No, I've got another couple of quick ones. The one I was about to read, and I actually have an issue with this one. It's about sexting. It's becoming a more and more, not only controversial, but it's becoming more and more a bigger thing happening in this country. And according to statistics, half of Australian adults have received or sent sexting texts or photos. Now, neither me nor Sonia have received them, so someone is double dipping.
We can help you out with that.
Yeah,
I'll give you my number later.
Hey, big boy. I am also from Anonymous Proxy.
Maybe I need to hook up with that chick from the UK who was trolling herself. That might help. But basically, the survey shows marked differences between the genders when it comes to pairing of technology with sex. 20% of men admit to filming sexual activity compared with 7% of women. Majority of those who have sent messages, 71% were male and whatever it is, 30%, 29% were female. So apparently, males, of course, using the internet for porn. Who would have thought? And just one more story quickly while we're talking about porn.
Right.
Apparently,
The hell?
that's the president of Russia.
Yes.
Putin.
Yeah.
Well, giant wooden penis strapped to his car. That's his car. Apparently, somebody wasn't happy with something. So they decided to, strap a to the BMW 3 Series BMW. It's a 90-kilo whittled penis.
It's very intricately done. I'm a bit worried about the dude that sculpted that.
It doesn't say who it's modelled after. But apparently, according to the reports, this kind of cockamamie prank that reeks of Nazi pro-Kremlin youth group founded in Ukraine's Orange Revolution. So basically, it's obviously a protest of some sort. But so I just thought that was
that is funny.
just an interesting interesting way to get your point across. Unfortunately, nobody knows who did it or what the point is supposed
But
to
it's
be.
actually chained to the car. So anyway,
Yeah,
get that off
yeah.
the
There's a
screen.
giant chain that runs around the whole car. It's not like it's going anywhere.
Take that off the screen. That's too much. All right. Well, I think
Oh, dear.
that just about wraps it up for another week here at Aussie Tech Heads. Don't forget the AussieMacZone.com.au. Talk about all things Apple. And Mac and all that sort of stuff. And that's iTunes as well, video and audio. And you can find the video to this show at youtube.com/Aussie Tech Heads. And you can also find lots of other stuff. Facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads. iOS app of the day, Android app of the day, all this sort of stuff. It's all on the Facebook. Just go to the Facebook, drop us a line, say hi, and tell us what you've been up to. Don't forget the Aussie Tech Radio, AUSSIE Tech, TECH Radio.com. There's a few shows, all new shows every Friday. So jump in and look, that's gaining traction. So that's good. You download your Shoutcast app on your iPhone, and away you go. Listen to varied shows. TechWebcast.info is one of them. Two boys talking tech, your tech life, GeekSphere TV. Look, there's LinkedIn. There's a couple of other little things out there, and they're really good shows. And they just go round in a circle, for 7 days. So I'm sure every time you log in, every time you think of it, you'll hear a different show, and you might end up liking it. Then you can go to the iTunes and subscribe to it and get it proper like. Yeah. And I think I've done everything. Emails, Glenn, Will, Shane, and Jason at AussieTechHeads.com.au. And don't forget the webpage. Show notes up on the webpage after the show. So that's right now. And I think we will all be back next week. Drivers willing, Will. It looks like you're pretty stable tonight. You've done good.
What, me or my computer?
Both.
Well,
If it's me, it means the meds are working. If it's computer, well, who knows? It's just pot luck.
All right, good stuff. All right, well, we'll see you next week, Will. So take care. And we'll...
Yes. And we may even have, if things go according to plan, we may have an announcement to expand the Secret Hub network. So there you go.
Oh, there you go. Well, I don't even know about
dun.
it. It's got to be interesting.
Yes.
And next week we might
No,
have...
I'm just going to eat a lot more pizza and expand.
I thought for a minute you're going to say you're going to be a dad or something. But next week we could have a guest, very special guest.
I know about, but
She hasn't told him yet.
That happens this way. Go and get the tester. I had a friend that, just quickly, we got to get out of here. But I had a friend that he was doing his girlfriend doing the test with the tester, the pregnancy test, and he was telling me the story, and he obviously had no idea, and he just telling me, so he goes, we're gonna have a baby. She had this pregnancy test done, and she's done it, and we looked at it, and it's gonna be twins. I'm gonna have twins. And I was like, how do you know you're gonna have twins from a pregnancy test? He goes, there's two lines. It's going to be twins. All right, so Shane and Jace, we'll see you next week. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you guys next week. And see you later. Wake up, Shane. Bye-bye. And
See you later.
see you guys.
And we'll see you next week as well, hopefully. So all the best and take care. Bye-bye.